Oh my, oh my, oh my. We are live. We are live, and our special guest is author Michelle DeWitt. Come on, get in. Get in, buckle up, and get ready for the ride. I tell you, you ain't ready. You ain't ready, but it's going to be a minute. So come on in. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We are going to be talking about I've Been There with the author herself, Michelle DeWitt. She has really taken all of the brakes off with this particular book. This book might as well be considered an expose, but I'm telling you, it really is. It took a lot of guts to write this book. It took a lot of guts to be willing to share this story because oh, it's serious. It is serious, and we're going to get it in. We're going to dig it in. Make sure that you comment, like, and share. If you are not a, if you're watching this on YouTube, please, please, please make sure you subscribe. If you're on Facebook with us, just make sure that you click the notification bell so that for any future videos, for any of our authors or any of our amazing contributors, come on, you don't want to miss it. But I'm telling you, it really is about somebody who was willing to take the brakes off, willing to take the bars off. Brian said no holds barred, no holds barred. I didn't know what that meant until today. I didn't know what that meant. I had a little bit of a blonde moment on at that, but it just means that you can do anything, say anything. Her book and story is called I've Been There. And I'm going to tell you, you might not have been where she been, but the story is going to share with you the strength of overcoming it in such a way that you not only have gotten out of it for yourself, but you are finally in a position to reach back and pull through to help somebody else to get on the other side of through. Now, I'm telling you, I appreciate those of you that are tuned in to support, but don't keep it to yourself. Take a second right now and click share. Start a watch party. Do something to get more eyes on the place. If you have not already pre-ordered your book, it'll be running across the screen through the broadcast at my.epublishu.com/Michelle DeWitt. I'm going to go ahead and shucks. I'm going to go ahead and put it so that you can actually click the link because we don't want nothing to stand in the way of you getting your own copy of this expose because, yeah, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. So go ahead and click on my.epublishu.com/Michelle DeWitt. I'm going to go ahead and bring herself up right now so that those of you who have not already met her, she is the woman of the hour. This is author Michelle DeWitt coming to the screen. Hey,
Hi,
my holiday sister.
guys.
Michelle. Before we get started and sharing this story with the audience, why don't you first introduce yourself any way that you like?
Okay, well, I am Michelle DeWitt, author Michelle DeWitt of the book I have been there. I am also a wonderful, wonderful wife to a wonderful, wonderful husband, Chad DeWitt, and also a mother of six, three bonuses. In that, two bonuses in that. I'm sorry, and I also am a minister of the gospel. And that's just about it.
That's where it begins actually, because we're going to get it in. Now, we had a little opportunity for those of you who may have joined us when you joined our show earlier to talk about this book. But this book was, first of all, how did you get to the place where you could even share the story before we talk about fully what the story is?
Hmm. How did I get to that place? It started with getting to the point of, you know what, I got to share this with somebody. I got to share this with someone because there are people that have been where I've been. And if I could just share just a little smidgen of my life with someone,
Mhm.
hopefully that'll help them, move forward, wherever, whatever stage they're at. Hopefully that'll help them out. I just said I just got to sit down and start writing. It took two
Mhm.
years for me to even go through the whole writing process. I stopped, I started, and I said, forget it. I threw in the towel. I picked up the towel. I tore the towel. I sold the towel, and it took a lot.
Absolutely. Now, I want to introduce a little bit about the story, and it really starts young. This starts young, and it's not only one thing with the title. I've been there. It's talking about almost a an avalanche of things that just kept coming and compounding and compounding. First, the abuse, then the molestation, not just by one family member, but by multiple family members. Then, with them finding the tumor and thinking that you were pregnant and not believing the whole thing. And I mean, it took a lot of courage to even tell the story itself.
Yes,
I'm sure that has something to do with you not sharing the story for this long because there were family members for you to consider. How difficult was
absolutely.
that?
It was tremendously hard. Okay. I was very fearful about writing in the beginning because of that. Um, Dealing with having to expose
Yeah,
family members and having other family members look at that. I mean, coming to this point where I am now is really, like you said, Lisa, it's really a bold move. And I have to because too many people are hurting in darkness and in silence. So I
absolutely.
must tell this story. I have to in order
Absolutely.
for some healing to take place.
And I think that that's critical that people hear that in order for some healing to take place. If any of you has ever been in a situation where your story was intertwined with somebody else's story, and we're not only talking about the family members that were involved the abuse, because by exposing it, you're also, in a sense, involving those that had nothing to do with it because they're connected by association.
Right.
So did you get any fallout from those family members? You know the old school saying, "What goes on in this house stays in this house." Was that
So,
something you had to contend with?
well, no, I basically no because once this incident came out amongst the family,
Mhm.
we were already ostracized. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, that already took place. So the few family members, and I do mean few family members that are following me on Facebook or wherever else, um, it is what it is.
That's how about that? It is what it is. And I really believe that so much of that fear, the fear of the just the coming out, is unfortunately what keeps so many victims held back.
Yeah, yeah. It's so true. It's so true. You don't want to cause any problems. You go into this corner, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You don't want anyone to look at you differently. You want to put this persona out there that you're this type of person and you're this way, and what you may be. But there is a part of you that has been broken as well. And
Yeah,
that part needs to be healed.
absolutely right. But you know what? Even beyond that, you were not believed in the beginning.
No, not even by my dad. One of the you'll read it in the book, but I didn't want to tell anyone that this was happening to me. I mean, I had been going through this from the age of 5. I was
Mm,
5 years old when this happened, or maybe a little younger. But nevertheless, it happened for a long period of time.
Mhm.
And it happened on this side of the family, and it happened on this side of the family. On both sides of the family, it wasn't just my mother's side, it wasn't just my father's side, it was on both. So when the
Wow.
story did come out, that I was raped by my uncle, and it got to my dad, and we
Mhm.
had this big family meeting in the living room.
Mhm.
Your own father not believing the words that are coming out of his daughter's mouth?
Right. Mhm.
How could you? How could you? My dad did not believe what I said. In fact, my dad told me that I was a liar, a slut,
Wow.
a prostitute, if I
Wow.
deserve, and I deserved it if it happened. That's what my dad said to me. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to get you," because this was his brother that did this to me. He didn't
Mhm.
say I was going to get you or anything. And to see my mom have so much fear on her face
Mhm.
and have my grandmother look at me and tell me I'm going to hell for lying. Your
Mhm.
grandmother, your mother, your
Right.
dad. Everybody's in there. Who is it that's speaking out for me? Anyone? Did anyone come forth for me? No.
Right. No.
No one came forth for me. It got worse when my dad went into the room and he actually pulled out his shotgun, and it's in the book, I'll tell you. He pulled out his shotgun and told my mom to put the phone down. She couldn't call the police. He was going to kill everybody in the MFing house. That's what he said.
If anybody was going to come to your rescue, he was going to kill everybody in the house. That I need somebody to hear the level of I don't know, of isolation or aloneness, or but then it really compounds. And this is really what happens with abuse, that a lot of particularly young women, I don't know, I'm not a young man, so I don't know if I can't relate to it, but a lot of young women coming out of abusive rape or molestation, especially where they were not believed, and now they have a misunderstanding of intimacy,
Yeah,
of sex,
yeah,
of relationships, and of self worth. And then, so you tell in your story, you go on to share about how that impacted your self worth. You want to
yeah.
share a little bit about some of the things that occurred as a result of, now you survived that, right? You got through it. You finally got away from that, but then you're carrying around the baggage.
Right. I mean, I didn't get to go to express my feelings of all the years of having been molested. I didn't get to share that with anyone. I
Mhm.
was basically told to shut up, hold a damaged part of you, put it inside of you, and keep it there, and that's where it stays.
Mm.
Um, I, I I had to go to several doctors because, mind you, my parents didn't find out about this rape until I was 6 months without a cycle.
Wow.
So my mom thought I was pregnant, and I went
Hmm.
to several doctors, like several doctors. I've never experienced anyone looking inside of my vajayjay. So
Right.
there it is. They're going inside, they're looking, and I'm uncomfortable. I'm being humiliated even the more because
Hmm.
these are strangers.
Right.
So a little girl that's
You've
14
already
years
been violated, and now they're compounding that with all of these seek missions, all of these, you're going from doctor to doctor for this seek and destroy mission. Now, you hadn't had a cycle for 6 months, so there was a presumption there that you were pregnant. And I think even from when I was reading it, a little bit was, there was some disbelief that you were abused, and sort of that you were using that story to cover from being fast, as they used to call us back in the day, and having gotten
exactly.
yourself pregnant, right? But then doctor after doctor, they contradicted themselves.
They
One would
did.
say she's pregnant, one would say she's not pregnant, one would say, and it ended up something totally unexpected.
Unexpected. I had a tumor on my left ovary. I actually had two. One was the size of a basketball, and one was the size of a golf ball or tennis ball attached to each other. a big, huge tumor.
So they had actually done sonograms and said, "Oh, it's a baby in there, big old tumor."
Right.
Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine at what age was this now when this was
14.
happening? 14. I can't even imagine being a 14-year-old girl who had not yet had consensual sex,
Right.
who had not yet had appropriate intimacy, right? Had only been put in uncomfortable or abusive situations, and now is going from doctor to doctor, and they are inconclusive as to making any findings about what you've gone through.
Mm, a mess. It was
And
horrible.
further complicating whether or not anybody can believe you either.
Right. Absolutely. It was horrible. My once my mom, she couldn't grasp the whole thing. My mom went through hell. She really did. I mean, I'm the only daughter that my mother had.
Mhm.
And to see your only child suffer the way that she is suffering and you're being abused and it's abuse in the home, um, she just went through a lot. She went through a lot. And then once she found out this last part, she was like, I don't know what to do. She really just didn't.
Well, that's understandable. But, I want people to understand that the story is about power and strength. It's not only
Mhm.
about the horrible things that happen, it's
Right.
also about the miracles that were a result, were, I don't know if you can say a result of or in spite of those things. Because them finding the tumor on your ovaries, the two tumors, they had to remove them,
Hmm.
which did they also have to remove your ovary?
They did. They had to remove my left ovary at the age of 14.
At the age of 14. That's before you had any children,
Any
which would
children?
then diminish your
Mhm.
chances of being able to have a child.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's correct.
So you are 14 years old. You've never had a serious, positive, intimate relationship. Your parents didn't believe in you enough to protect you or support you. And now you're supposed to just live a regular teenage life.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. A regular teenager could not live a regular teenage life.
You right.
So
It's
now you're,
complicated.
and I hate to use this word, but you are a damaged teenager who has not received the love and nurture and healing to
Mhm.
now bring a healed, healthy, whole person to a new relationship. So what happens? Do you just find the most wonderful guy in the world and everything is wonderful and you ride off
Mhm.
to the sunset?
Absolutely. Whoever puts their eyes on me and their eyes got the googly eyes and I got the googly eyes, oh, you're the one. It didn't matter about your behaviors or how you acted. If you looked at me and you gave me them eyes, I was yours, baby. All yours. I just wanted someone to love me, someone
Right.
to put their arms around me, someone to tell me that they'll protect me because I wasn't being protected.
You weren't being protected, you weren't being believed, you weren't being supported. So all of those needs that we have, the human needs, the basic human needs, are going so diminished. You're diminished in so many of those capacities. So that's going to affect how you choose, or for lack of a better word, how you accept anybody that comes. Like you said, if they looked at you sideways long enough, you were theirs. You belonged to them.
I was running. I was running away from that hurt and that pain. And so
Mhm.
I did. I ended up going out and doing things because I was yelling out. My body was screaming. My mind, I was screaming. And I wanted some attention. And I did. I became very fast. Very fast. That's what grandma them say. Fast.
Fast, yeah, fast and hot in the tail.
Hot
That's what we got labeled. Instead of being recognized that we had a void,
Yeah.
there was something missing. And I don't know if this is as important for the parents or as it is for the daughters. I need the daughters who are not being heard to find a healthy mentor, if it's not your parent, to let them know that, listen, this happened and I haven't healed from it and I need help. I need the parents. If you are a parent of a child that seems like they're acting sideways, please, please, please understand that sometimes that's a cry for help.
It is. It is, and that is so true. I look at these teenagers today. There's so many different things that I see happen, and working with present age ministries, that is a sex trafficking organization, and we
Against
work
that.
with girls that were in the sex trafficking ring,
Hmm.
and to see the behaviors they are, as parents we have to not always point the finger and do this, but we need to do more of this
Yeah,
and more of this. Let them talk. Have
yeah,
that moment where you let your child talk. Let them talk and share. Let them write if they can't express it, that however they can get it out. I would never ever wish a child to ever go through what I've been through in regards to that.
absolutely. But I think we need people to hear that, and I think that the work that you're doing with the present ministries, the anti-sex trafficking advocacy program, helping to become an answer or to become a resource
Yeah,
for this type of situation, because unfortunately the young girls and women who've been in the same situation that you have, that I have, become easy targets
yeah,
for those that are looking to find someone vulnerable to traffic. Like you said, all he had to do was look at you like, hey, how you doing?
right.
And they could easily transform you into something that they need, something that they
Absolutely,
want, whether it's just for themselves or end up turning them out on the streets.
absolutely, they do.
Now, if there are any young ladies who happen to be listening on this broadcast and they have found themselves in a situation where they do need some help from that program, how do they reach out to Present Ministries?
Well, I will have to. They could actually. I don't have their number in front of me, but
Could they
um,
reach out to you directly?
they can. They can reach out to me
So we have
directly.
your address on the screen for you can contact Minister DeWitt at Facebook at Excited DeWitt right here on Facebook. And you can order your own copy of I've Been There. The book is coming out late winter, and we are looking to get it into the hands of as many people as we can so that we can bring some awareness to these things that are still going on. This wasn't back in the day. This was
No.
this generation. This was our generation that uh we still had unsafe conditions in our homes. We still had uncles that were predators. We
Yeah.
still had families that thought it was better to keep your secrets
Mhm.
than to get you help.
Mhm.
And it's necessary, particularly for those of us who've been through stuff like this, right? It's
Mhm.
necessary to know that you're not alone.
Yes. It means so much.
I was about to ask that question of you. How important is it to you to know not only that you're helping others, but that you're pulling back the veil so that more people who have been in this situation can say, me too.
Yeah, it's a 100 for me to know that that this book or me talking with someone that they will receive help, that they will receive comfort, whatever the Lord leads, to happen in the situation. I know that I was butt naked, you know, and I don't want anyone else to walk around butt naked anymore. I want to be the blanket that I can be, and for God to be the warmth that's supplied through that blanket.
Amen. Amen. Now, here's the interesting thing. Once again, I will share again that the story was not only about the abuse or the
Mhm.
incest, or there's more. There's more. 'Cause I already tipped you off a little bit. There's a tumor. Now, how many 14-year-olds have tumors on their bellies, on their ovaries, and then go on? Because I think when she introduced herself, she shared with you that she has 6 children, 4 children plus 2 bonus children. Now, understand that means that she had 4 children with that one little leftover ovary. That, that's a miracle in and of itself. And it also produced a set of twins.
Yes, I have two beautiful twins, Stacy and Tracy, a boy and a girl.
Yes,
Two beautiful, beautiful twins. They are 29 now. They're 29. But yes, they're wonderful, wonderful children. Good gracious, they're beautiful.
they are beautiful. And then, even beyond that, having had an early diagnosis of breast cancer,
Yeah, yeah.
which there was just so many things that you think are all compounded. And I want people to understand it's not a pity party.
It's
As you see,
not.
the whole time we've been on this broadcast, she has had her face plastered with a smile. Sometimes that smile aggravates me because I used to be like, do you hear what the words are that are coming out of your mouth? You should not be smiling right now. But I'm
Good.
telling you, she's smiling, and I'm a testimony to it. She's smiling because she's on the other side of
Yeah.
through.
When you going through hell, you just like, what the hell? But when you you for real, but looking back now, look at what God is getting the glory out of this now, right? Because having to have 8 surgeries, being on the table, the last surgery for 10 hours, it was atrocious, okay? But in the midst of having the breast cancer, I was able to encourage older women. I was 25 years old with breast cancer.
Yeah.
And here you
Who
got
does
these,
that? That doesn't even happen.
right? You got these older women. My doctor didn't even believe I had breast cancer.
Right.
Okay. She didn't even believe that I had breast cancer. She was like, oh, you just have a little bit of pulse coming out your nipple. I had pulsing blood coming out of my nipple. She thought it was probably a small little tiny cyst. They could remove it. I didn't have anything hard, no hard lumps. So hello, ladies. It doesn't always come from a lump, okay? It could be anything coming out your nipples. Go get checked.
Yes.
Yeah, go get checked.
Anything. Get checked.
Anything.
Anything that is abnormal, go
Right.
get checked.
Yeah.
Go and be persistent. That was something. And you know what? As I was thinking and reading through the story, what I thought about is that your early years
Mhm.
taught you to use your voice, that you have to be persistent. Because when
Right.
you finally stood up for yourself in your younger years, when you finally got them to stand up and listen, you didn't back down. And so if you hadn't built that muscle, if you hadn't built that tenacity, then
Mhm.
when it was time for you to go to the doctor and have them test you for breast cancer, or for what's wrong, they could have easily said, it's nothing, don't worry about it, you're only 25, you know.
That's what they did. She did. I promise you, my doctor did. She sent me over to go get that exam done. And when she got the news, OMG, she called me crying. My doctor called me crying with these results. She's apologized
Right,
to me for not believing me.
right.
And that made a major difference in her life. She
Hmm.
said that as a doctor, it made her stand back and re-examine what she represented as a doctor. She really, really, really was very remorseful for that. And
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, I loved her for that, and she remained my doctor. I didn't leave her because of that. She remained my doctor, and of course, she helped me along the way with my baby girl Raven. I mean, and we became very good friends.
Absolutely. You got some comments coming in from the Peanut Gallery. Kelly Little, who is also one of our empowerment authors for the Empowerment Network, he said, Overcomer, healer, trailblazer. Come on now. That
Hey,
is the truth. That is the
Kelly.
truth. If you don't already have a copy of this book by author Michelle Dewitt called I've Been There. If you don't already have your copy on pre-order because it'll be released by late winter, you want to go to my.epublishyou.com/Michelle DeWitt. You will be able to receive an autographed copy as
Mm-hmm.
soon as they are off the presses.
Mm-hmm.
We want more people to understand that by telling their story, they're helping somebody else to stand in their confidence.
Amen. You know what? I did not think that I could do this. I honestly did not. That's why I said in the beginning, with writing the book, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that because I started thinking about other people. You have to go out there and tell the story. You have to share it. It is so important. In writers class, while we were in writers class, Mama Lisa, what they call her, she told us, she said, you are hindering someone from being healed.
Yeah.
You're the one that's you're set up for this particular individual and they're waiting on you. And when she said that, that hit me right in my chest, like, oh my God, that is so true. So many times as ministers, we want to share the gospel and get that out there about Jesus Christ and salvation. But there is another part of that ministry that it didn't even click on me. It just didn't. And when she said that, I'm like, yeah, I need to do that too.
Yeah.
That's got to be done. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he tells us in Revelation, you are overcome by the blood of the Lamb. That's all the Jesus stuff. Go ahead,
right,
feel free and do
right,
all the Jesus stuff. But it
right.
says, and by the words of your testimony.
That part,
That
that part.
part. I need more people to understand. I'm not telling you not to talk about Christ. I'm not
Right.
telling you not to do that. I'm telling you that you also have received direction to share your testimony because there's somebody who's holding on by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
Right? They
Yeah.
don't think nobody's ever had it as bad as me. Nobody has ever been through what I've been through. I might as well give up and die.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they tired of hearing about David. They sick of Moses and Noah and
Right.
them. And they need
Come
somebody in
on.
the 21st century to say, look, I was in hell.
Come
I was
on.
in hell. I was in the den. I was in the lion's den. I was in this situation. But look at me. Look at
Look
me
at
right
me
now.
today.
I have a
I
smile
did not
on
think
my
I was gonna
face.
be this beautiful. I didn't know I
Right.
was gonna be this cute. You know what I mean?
Okay. I got on a Santa hat. Amen. I
I didn't think that at one time in my life. For a long
Mhm.
time, I didn't think I was beautiful. I honestly didn't. I really would doing this a few years ago. No, but thank God for deliverance, honey. I am so cute.
Okay. It is that serious. It's that important for you to tell your story. And that's
Mhm.
why I love my job so much. And that's helping
Yeah.
people to tell that story, helping them to get that story out of
Mhm.
their belly, of their heart, of their bosom.
Mhm.
Wherever you got your story at,
Mhm.
let's
Mhm.
get it. Because there is somebody who is yearning for that story.
Amen.
Somebody.
Amen. Somebody.
Somebody.
And it is such a wonderful, marvelous thing. I thank God for you, Lisa, for being there. You've been there in so many different aspects of my life. Like I stated before, we've been friends for a long time, and you've
Yes.
watched me grow. You've watched me go through quite a few things,
Yeah.
and being by my side is wonderful. Like you said, it is not all bad. It's been good. It's been some good stuff. And so I want people to know that I am not broken by no means.
Come on now.
actually whole.
That's
It's
right. Absolutely.
willing to share that wholeness with someone else. You know what I mean? Being able to share that wholeness with someone else and let them know you don't have to stay in a broken state. I'm happily married. I have a wonderful husband. I have beautiful children. My bonus children will be here tomorrow, and I'm so excited about that. And I it's nobody but the Lord that put people in your life to push you. I'm telling you, and this woman right here, she will push you.
Well, you're a little pushy, just a little bit. I'm a little pushy. But that's because I know, here's what I know more than anything else. When your pain turns into power, when
Mhm.
your pain turns into purpose,
Mhm.
your pain prevails into
Yeah.
who and what you are always intended to be, it's not just strengthening for you.
Mm-mm.
It's strengthening for those who can finally say, oh my God, that's me too.
Yeah.
Oh my
Be
God,
honest.
I know that. And I feel that I've been there. Whether you're overcoming from having a failed first marriage,
Yep.
whether you're overcoming from promiscuity, whether you're overcoming from having children early, whether you're overcoming from losing a job, whether you're overcoming, it doesn't matter, whatever you're overcoming, it strengthened and prepared you for something.
Ah, yeah. Right. Yeah. So writing this book is the big thing. Um, I even though I went through what I went through, and I went through a depression and didn't even know that it was depression, right?
Mm,
I did not know that. And so I made a decision though.
mm,
I came and made a decision that I had to finish school. And so once I finished with school, I wanted to do more. So I wanted to go to college. And the reason why I wanted to go to college is because of the church that we were at. We
mm.
were with Redemption Christian Ministries.
Yeah.
Listen to Pastor Dunlap preaching and his teaching. I was like, man, that's a bad mamma jamma right there. Um, yeah, he was so hardcore with it and rolling with it. I was just like, man, I want to get that way. I want to learn. And so, I said I wanted to go to college, and I ended up not only going to college, I ended up actually going to the same college, coincidentally, that he went to. And one of his professors was my professor. I just really felt like, oh yeah, I'm in there. Oh yeah. Well, it was a lot of work to do in college, but I set goals, finish up with school. Even though I did not get to walk across the stage with my friends, my goal was to go ahead and finish and get my GED. I did that. Check. I want to go to college and get through college and get my degree. I have a bachelor's degree. Check. And then that book was sitting right there on the shelf, like, okay, I'm gonna get to that in the I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna get married. But to God be the glory that I actually finished with this book and gave birth to this baby. Good God.
Yeah.
This baby was huge. This was a big
Head. He had a big head. Yeah, yeah, I know. I've been the Holy Ghost midwife.
midwife.
And honey, this baby has been y'all, I'm not gonna talk about it. Yes, I am. These the first few little raggedy paragraphs that I got out of this child, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I prayed and oiled and anointed and prayed because them first two or three little raggedy sentences that she sent over talking about, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna need
That's what you did. That's what she did, y'all. That's what she did.
what this is, huh? Because I'm gonna need you to go back. Because these little raggedy pieces of writing. Who was
Oh,
that song? She used to sing it. Oh my good. Run, Mary, run.
oh yeah, that juice. Yes.
Now, what's also interesting is in this process, what many of the students in the class did not know was that like she mentioned, Michelle and I have been friends probably almost 20 years, almost 20
Years.
years.
Hmm.
And it was a really interesting dynamic because she was talking about Pastor Dunlap. Our church, we were very, uh, it wasn't just a church, it was a family
Hmm.
at that time. And some of the things she talks about in the book actually you'll see for yourself when you read it, it highlighted the importance of this village.
Yeah.
And I almost want to say
Man.
we were a village of broken people
Hmm.
who had decided to be who we wish we had.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I
The
like that.
entire church. The entire church. We had been through from top down, from the pastor on down. We had decided to be who we wished we had. Shout out to Mama Ford. Today is her birthday.
Happy birthday, Mama Ford.
Absolutely,
Wonderful
absolutely.
woman. Oh, I love
Wonderful
her.
woman of God. Shout out to her, right? So with that, and she shares some stories about that in the book as well. You'll get to really feel how blessed it is to have a non-biological family that holds you up, right? Because
Man,
oh my goodness, talk about it.
oh, anytime something went on at the church, I'm telling you, they were always just, what you need, we got it. Or either before you even say what you needed, they already had it. Like with Lisa, one of the things that took place when my mom passed away, having Lisa there, my best friend was there, Michelle, she was there as well. And Lisa was there, and she was just like, I got this. I got this. Both of them, they took care of me. I didn't have to worry about anything. They were like, I got this. And Lisa taking care, and my mom, I was gonna go put her makeup on. I never forget that. You never forget those that are humbled and to do anything. They're not showing that she wasn't trying to show out in front of nobody. She didn't care about anything else. She just wanted to make sure that she did whatever she could when she could. And she put my mom's makeup on for me. She said, no, you're not going. I got this. And she took care of that. And I was just so happy. And I also talk about in the book about my children. I went through a stage in my life when my children were taken from me. And Lisa was right there. I remember crumbling and breaking down on the floor, and Lisa was right there. And it was due to just foolishness. And she watched me go through the process of that. I thank God. I'm so thankful to God. I really am. I'm so thankful to Him for allowing me to go through the things that I went through so that I could write this book, so that someone out there that's going through, whether maybe you don't have your children in your care right now, it's in the book. You've been there, I've been there. Let's talk about it. Maybe you have to deal with have losing your parents or a parent. I lost my mom. My dad's still alive, and I've been there. Let's talk about it. That's why the title of the book, I've been there. There are so many paths that I've been on. I put that in the book so that people will know and understand. Life, as we go through this life, there is a process, but at the end, God gets the glory. And in the midst of it, you learn and you mature. And that's where the wisdom comes in to help someone else.
Absolutely. That is the purpose of all the pain, is to extract the wisdom from you that you wouldn't have developed. Miss Vivian said, at least now I feel a bit more confident about what I'm going to do. Absolutely. Miss Vivian is working on her book, is with us as well. And I have had to give Miss Vivian the side eye sometimes
She'll
too.
give it to you. That means come on out with it.
What
She's
is
wanting
this?
you to get it out. Get
What
that
is
mucus. Look, get that mucus out the chest.
this?
Get it out.
That's right, because it's holding you back. It
Yeah.
really is holding you
Yeah.
back. You're receiving some love. Miss Vivian says, hi, Michelle. Hey, hey, hey. Well, wow, honey, order your copy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
on the screen, my.epublishyou.com/Michelle DeWitt. Reach out to her. If you have a platform of your own and you'd like to have her to come on to talk about any of the things that she's already been through, so that she can reach your audience as well, please, please, please invite her. You can connect with her at Excited DeWitt right here on Facebook. We need you to connect. Michelle, do you mind hanging out in the green room for just a moment while I close up?
Sure.
All
Yes.
right,
Have a good
all
one,
right,
guys.
all right. Thank you so much. Oh my God. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. You got to get your own copy. I'm telling you, you like cliffhangers, you like dramas, you need to get this book. Miss Vivian says, same thing. That's right. I have had to do Miss Vivian like this a couple of times, huh? What's that? You ain't finished with it. Take it back. Put it back in the oven. Because we have to, I did the same thing to, I had to do that to Kelly. I've had to do it to many authors. And that's because sometimes we get stuck on the surface. We get stuck on the surface because we have either fear or we just don't know how to share it. And so if I can help you, you want to get on the waiting list to be on next year's um, um, group publishing team class, then you need to reach out, just inbox me. We'll add you to the waiting list because it's just that serious. What you have been through, the world is waiting for because they need to know that they can make it through it as well. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill. This has been Doing It All with Lisa Santiago McNeill. And I'm telling you, I look forward to talking with you on next week. Until then, I love you. Permission to be amazing is granted.